Now to just kind of briefly go over this follow-up chart, now that we went over what it means, like the different statuses of the lead. This will just let you know there are a few action plans that automatically our site uses or we apply as the agent. Action plans are designed to help us with our follow-up, or when our follow-up is complete. So we've reached out to a new lead, gone through the entire registration action plan that was automatically applied when the new lead entered. Just to give you an idea, that action plan usually has like 6 phone call reminders and text reminders, and then auto emails that go throughout. We call it the 10-day of pain. So the new leads always get added onto a registration action plan. So the system basically will auto apply a new lead on an action plan. And then after you make contact and have been communicating, this graph basically just reminds you when to pause an action plan and when to add an action plan if you need to. So you'll never have to add an auto like new registration action plan because it's usually auto applied when the lead enters their information into the system and they're routed over to you through round robin as a new lead. The only other action plans that you will have to add are a bad number action plan is pretty common, and then a agent completed action plan. So meaning you've completed reaching out to this lead, the new lead registration action plan is now complete and they never responded, or maybe you reached out to them and they did respond, but you've been trying and trying and trying, over 6+ times, and they're really just ghosting you. And at this point, what should you do? Task them forever or no? The idea is obviously to follow up with a lead forever, right? Until they buy or until they die. So rather than just waiting and exhausting your efforts, there's 2 action plans, like I said. One, a bad number action plan that will try to email the lead for a better contact information, or at least, ignite conversation over email, or leads that action plans that will allow you basically it looks like the action plan will be like a long-term action plan that reaches out to these leads for an entire year, and it reminds you to text them, or the system will auto email them, but kind of takes less off your plate of just reaching out to this lead that wasn't really responding. So I'll go over this just briefly, but it will take a little bit of reviewing and familiarity and training just to kind of understand it. But if it's a new lead, the task that you will have will auto be applied with registration action plan. There's no necessary need of adding a tag on this lead. Like I said, we only use 2 tags, and it's a bad number tag and an agent completed tasks. So no tag is needed. The action plan is the buyer or seller registration plan, and it's auto applied. So the task is auto applied through the action plan. And then every lead gets a drip email going. It will ask them, what they're looking for. Thanks for registering. Our website comes across all the homes. You will see that that's auto running on a new lead. So if you call a new lead and you find that they have a bad number or the texts aren't sending and everything's bouncing, at that point in time, you will add a bad number tag, and then you will add the bad phone number or no number action plan. So when you add these action plans, you will have to pause or stop the other action plans if there are any going. But there is a bad number action plan that basically will ask them for their better phone number, or there's a no number action plan because maybe they gave you no number. And so the emails won't put a phone number, the phone number they gave you, and then ask them for a better one. It will just say you didn't provide a phone number. And at that point in time, pause the new lead drip because these emails are going to start instead. So it will be best to just pause that one. If you had a lead, they were changed to qualify because you made contact with them, but they never responded to the new plan. You never were able to engage with them, and you finished the plan and everything like that. Right before the plan's over, it actually will tell you the plan's over, so now you can add your agent completed tag. At that point in time, there's a qualify leads that stopped responding action plan. I would add them to that because this plan will reach out to them over email and site messages and text prompt reminders to you for an entire year, about once every 45 days. And then I would just leave the new lead drip active and let it finish through. There's no reason to pause it because these plans don't actually start until like 40 days from when you apply them. So If the qualified lead responded and you started to collect information, at that point in time, having a conversation with a lead is a very obvious reason to start tasking the lead and remove them from all action plans. It's quite embarrassing when you're having a conversation with a lead and you, one, forget to task them and then you never follow up with them again. Or more importantly, is you task them, but then you left the action plans running and, you found out all this great information, built a lot of rapport, but then 2 days later, an email accidentally goes out saying, "What are you looking for?" So just remember, any conversation, always remove and pause action plans and just start tasking them and having conversations with them. There is certain circumstances where you will be working a lead, they'll respond shortly and you're trying to get information with them, but then they stop responding. At that point in time, my rule of thumb is you always reach out 6 more times. Say that they responded on the 6th time and then you started having a conversation and then they stopped responding. So you followed up with them like 2 days later, 3 days later, 7 days later. My rule of thumb is I'll always try 6 more times. I'll space it out. But at that point in time, if I've tried 6 and you're not responding, I take off tasks again and I let the CRM now take over again. So I make sure that they're on any alerts or market updates because those emails are nice to get and I want to make sure they're opening. I want to add agent completed task as my tag so the system knows I'm no longer personally going to be reaching out. And then I'll add them to the qualified leads that stopped responding action plan. So this active and active lead section is exactly the same to this. It's for leads that stopped responding to you and active leads that are talking to you, just reminding you, yes, definitely remove them from plans if they're talking to you and task. But if, again, you had more information from this lead, yet they stopped responding to you, let the CRM take over and instead put them on the active leads that stopped responding action plan. The active and qualify long-term action plans are a little bit different. They just say a little bit different information. The qualify action plan really focuses on getting like e-alert information.